Okay, this is stage 3, all right? Look back at the other picture. So this was stage 1, the sleep paralysis, black void. Stage 2 is when you're pulling out of your body. Once you get 10 to 25 feet away, you're going to start to be able to see what's going on. And now this is stage 3. Stage 3, you have, that's your bed inside of your house. You have pushed out of your bed, out through your living room, out through the front door, and now you are in front of your house, standing in front of your house. At this point, you have full vision. You can see everything like real life. You have full vision. There might be cars, people walking around, what people refer to as astral entities. You know, they're just, I'm not going to get it all into that right now. You're outside at this point, okay? Grass. Now, at this point, you are now fully immersed in a full-blown astral projection at this point. This is level 3, okay? This is level 3. You accomplished it. This is when you can say you had your first full legitimate astral projection, when you have gotten far enough away from your body that you are completely immersed. Now, on average, how long will you be able to stay here as a beginner? You'll be able to stay in this area once you get away. Now the timer starts once you get outside the front of your house. You'll be able to stay here for around maybe 5 to 20 seconds as a beginner. You'll be able to withstand being in this for that amount of time. Now, the possibilities are endless at this point, okay? You can do anything you imagine at this point. Now, you're not just gonna be able to look at this tree and imagine it to just completely disappear, okay? It doesn't work like that. If you focus on a tree and you imagine another branch to start growing out of the tree, that will happen. It will probably take this, after you are focusing on imagining this tree branch to start growing out, it will start to occur on average 10 seconds after you begin to strongly imagine it happening. Okay? Your house is not gonna look exactly like your house in real life if you look back at it. Your whole neighborhood ain't fun to look like your real neighborhood. There's gonna be slight details changed. Your roof might have damage in it that isn't there in real life. There might be an extra window that's not there in real life. The house might be a little bit higher up than in real life. The trees aren't gonna look the same. The road might be wider than it is in real life. Things are not going to be the same. Why they're not the same is because this is not actually real life that you're floating out of your body and looking at. This is a internal mapping of your local environment that you have in your brain called a hippocampal map. That is why you can imagine your front yard right now as you're watching this video, because you have the hippocampal map in your brain and you're actually traveling through these maps. Okay, that's what astral projection is. Regardless of what people tell you about the spirit world, that's not what it is. I've done it 700 times. I'm not going to get into it right now, but this is what it is. So that's why things are going to look different. Because your brain's not going to be able to exactly replicate every detail down to the molecule of real life. It's going to have things messed up. Now, from this point, you can start developing powers. Okay? From this point, the first powers you'll probably develop are fast movement in terms of running or flying. This is probably gonna be the first power that you develop, is flying. Okay? You can actually just imagine yourself flying and you will be able to fly. The more realistic the astral projection is, because sometimes it can be more lucid dream-like, because a lucid dream and an astral projection are the same thing. It's just that an astral projection starts from this stage and it begins a lot more realistic than a lucid dream. A lucid dream can be less realistic until you bring more awareness into it. Then it becomes like an astral projection. An astral projection can decay in realism until it is like a lucid dream. Okay, they're the same thing. They're just on two spectrums. So if this is an awareness spectrum, you have a dream here, regular unconscious dream. You go higher up the spectrum, you get to a lucid dream. This is when you start becoming aware that you're in the dream. And then when you go further down the spectrum, that's when you get to what could be considered an astral projection. This is now the point when your awareness, if your awareness at a regular dream is 0, your subconscious, a lucid dream is like a 5, an astral projection is like a 10 of self-awareness of being in the hippocampal maps in your brain. Okay, so astral projection is just a dream that you are extremely aware of what's going on. Okay, and that gives you more control. And what's funny about this is actually where you have the most ability to do powers. Okay, it's not in an astral projection. It's actually in the middle. In a lucid dream is when you can really change stuff. I mean, in a lucid dream, you can make this tree turn into a fucking monster if you want to. The more aware you become, yes, you become more aware of what's going on. And by the way, this spectrum, you can change it actively while you're in it by focusing on the present moment. You can go up and down this spectrum. It's hard to go back to a dream when you're at this stage, but it's not too difficult to go from lucid level awareness to an astral projection level awareness. I do it all the time. And an astral projection, it actually becomes so realistic that it gets hard to do powers because it's hard for your mind to accept that you can just turn this tree into a fucking monster because of how realistic it gets. It gets so realistic that when you try to fly, it's actually very scary because you start flying and man, let me tell you something. You go all the way up here, you go 300 feet in the air and you're looking down at the ground, and it is up to 95% as realistic as real life. Let me tell you something. You get scared when you're up there. In a lucid dream, you're kind of still halfway in the dream. It still can be scary, but not as scary when you're in astral projection. It can be very scary in astral projection. So this is stage 3, okay?